Hey guys, Grant here. I want to tell you all about my friends at Black Bear Inn and Suites of Gatlinburg who are making it possible to bring this episode to you. As you guys know, I grew up in East Tennessee, and there are two things that all East Tennesseans have in common. We all love the Vols, and we all love the Smoky Mountains. Since I've moved to Nashville, I've been unable to get my Smoky Mountain fix in, but thankfully, our friends at Black Bear Inn and Suites of downtown Gatlinburg have me covered. They are conveniently located at 1100 Parkway and are within walking distance of all the major attractions and best food that downtown Gatlinburg has to offer. To book your Smoky Mountain getaway today, visit blackbeargatlinburg.com or call 865-436-5656 or toll free at 1-800-933-0777.
Hey y'all, Jordan here. I wanted to tell you about our friends at Three Kings of Cardboard, the go-to spot to upgrade your sports memorabilia collection. Check out their Facebook group and eBay at Three Kings of Cardboard. I have dealt with them personally and will not deal with anybody else. My favorite item is my Jalen Wright 1-of-1 Bowman U Superfractor that they pulled me. Check out our friends at Three Kings of Cardboard today. Welcome to this edition of the Ballin' Out Podcast. I'm your host Jordan. Here with my host Grant, co-host Grant. How you doing today, brother?
Jordan, man, I am good. How are you doing on this lovely Tuesday afternoon?
Fantastic, dude. Fan-freaking-tastic. Buddy, we got a guest with us today.
We sure do. We sure do, man.
Host of Waking Up in a Brewery, the beer comedian, stand-up comic, man does it all. Alex Stokes. How you doing today, buddy?
Man, I'm doing awesome. How are you guys doing?
Oh, buddy, just fine as wine, man. Fine.
So glad to finally get on the show.
Yeah, we're glad to have you on, man. We've had this in the works for a hot minute and just had to, we figured it out though. We always do, don't we?
We got it.
So, all right, man. Well, buddy, why don't you tell us a little bit what you got going on now about your podcast and, your stand-up gig and everything else, man.
Yeah. I've been a comedian for 14 years and wrote a bunch of stupid books about Gatlinburg, which I don't know if you've got. It's not hard to write. They're conversations I have with drunk tourists out here on the street, so it's not hard to do. But and then the last few years, myself and Chris Travis and his wonderful wife Kayla, we started a podcast called Waking Up in a Brewery, and so we travel around breweries and bars and all around Knoxville. All over. We've been in multiple states and do a podcast there, and we literally talk about nothing. So we start the show out with some beer and see where it goes, and that's about it. But it's we just started season 4 on that one, and so check that out. But I just took a 3-month break on doing comedy and had my first show last week in Knoxville, and I got some big ones coming up in Sevier County and getting ready to go on a national tour. So I'm really excited about it. So.
Heck yeah, man. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear you're doing well with that, man. Glad to see you back on the road and stuff for that. So
yeah, right. We got ourselves a busy man on here with us today.
I'm trying. Right? Yeah.
Man,
now that my wife graduated veterinary school and the kids I've got one senior left in high school, 2 in college, and one that's just got married. So they're almost all gone. So now I can finally get back on the road again. Yeah, it's kind of nice.
Emptying that nest out.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. What about that gig in Knoxville last week, man? How'd that go? Where was it and all that stuff?
Oh, it was good. It was at a Barrel House by Gypsy Cider Company.
Okay.
Yeah, it was sold out. Yeah, they had to bring in extra chairs. It was pretty cool. I was excited after taking that long of a break. I didn't know how it was going to go, but yeah, no, we had a lot of fun, and I lost my voice on the last joke. I got to an hour and 20 minutes, and then boom, it was gone. But it's coming back now, so I'm good. But,
Dunzo. So
between that and screaming at the TV, watching Tennessee games,
Hey, well, the Vols will do that to you. Vols will do that to you right away, man. Well,
oh my gosh.
I know that you're a little bit of a basketball guy, so kind of give me your opinion on what the team has done so far this year, and where does Mr. Alex Stokes expect the Tennessee Volunteers to be at the very end of the season?
Oh, wow. Yeah. So I think for the first time, I've been following them, since 3 years old, I'm 50 now. So diehard Tennessee guy. And I remember going to the games when, Wade Houston was coaching, and you'd sit there and 5 minutes into the game, they would be like, all right, everybody in the top bleachers, come on down, for free. And we'd all
I
go
remember
down
those
there.
days too.
Oh, yeah. And, Brandon Wharton was one of my favorite players. Big Brandon Wharton fan. But I remember those days. And so I've sat through all of it. The one thing about this year that gives me, and I know everybody always has the Rick Barnes can't coach and the tourney kind of, you see that online. Everybody says Rick Barnes can't coach in the tourney. And the one thing that we've got this year with Connect is if, we get down to 10 minutes left in the game and everybody else is struggling. I'm great putting the ball in his hands and saying, just bring it up the court and let's go. Get out of his way. And that's one thing we haven't had. I mean, even as much as I love Chris Lofton, I'm a diehard Chris Lofton fan. It's still a different dynamic than what Lofton brought today. Lofton was never going to bring him down the court and just, hey, set a pick for me and let me get a shot off. Connect, though, he can do it. He can go, 96 feet, do it all. And so I'm excited that we've got that dynamic. And then, we're what, 9, 10 deep right now. 8 or 9. But, yeah, I think that's the biggest difference this year. And especially, too, this year, one thing that fascinates me is everybody, if you go on all the Tennessee pages, they're always like, oh, we keep losing these stupid games. I was like, have you looked around the country? Everybody's losing dumb games.
It's not even just that. It's college basketball.
That's
what college basketball is all about at the end of the day.
It is. And it's getting more and more every year. You only got to have 5 guys and that's it. And every team now, it's the smaller. But you know what's different, though, this year that I've noticed is if you look at the top 25, there's not as many of the small schools sneaking in. It's a lot of the Power 5 schools that are not normally there are sneaking in. So I think the parities, this is outrageous. This might be the funnest tournament we've watched in a long time. So
I agree.
I'm excited about it.
Basketball is my thing, and I love it more than I've ever loved anything in this world, honestly.
Yeah.
I just go crazy over it. The differences with this team this year is you've got Dalton Connect, kind of like what you touched on, where Tennessee's not had a guy in the past 30 years that can just say, hey, how many points do you want him?
Remember.
Yeah, he really is. Like there's nobody since Allen Houston that's been able to say how many points do you want and where do you want him from on the floor.
Right.
And Dalton can go get them for you. He's a threat the second that the ball's inbounded, and it's a pleasure for all of us to get to watch that man cook every single week.
Exactly. No,
it's like we say all the time, Mama, there goes that man.
Because it's true.
He is a bad man. So
I agree.
Man.
Yeah.
But to your point, you're right about that. Like Lofton, he was not going to take it to the rack. He's not going to take it to the rack and put somebody on a poster. Dalton can do that. Dalton does what Dalton wants when Dalton feels like it. It's just the way it is.
Yeah. Well, and Dalton is the best ISO scorer since Tobias Harris too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I agree with that. And I think he's even better better than Tobias was in college. Tobias is great, but Dalton.
Oh, yeah.
He's on a level that's just, it's stupid.
Well, it's, also Dalton's a little bit older than Tobias was when he was wearing the orange and white. So I think that does have a lot to do with it. But it's just kind of crazy to me that guy was able to go underneath the radar for as long as he did. The guy played 2 years of JUCO ball, 2 years in Northern Colorado, and now he's with the big boys. And unfortunately, we don't get him for too long. But we're going to enjoy the hell out of him while we got him.
Exactly.
Right.
No, I agree. Yeah.
Ride him like a mule, son. Just, man, this team's just fun to watch, though, this year. They really are.
Oh, yeah.
So
they've got every piece, like from guard to, Gainey can come in and just go off in a heartbeat. And then, they've got every piece, like different sizes, like in the post, different types of players that can come in and different guards. They can match up pretty much with anybody. Like right now, UConn obviously is the team to beat, but We
I
can match
like how
up with
Tennessee
them.
would match up with UConn,
I
though.
do
I've
too.
said that on here. I think
I
that
agree.
Tennessee can outplay them because of the wing play from Dalton. And then you've
Yeah,
really got good guard play with Sakai. Santi at this point. And what we've seen this year is what we're going to continue to see. But then you still got guys like Jordan Gainey coming up off the bench. You've still
yeah,
got Freddie Dilion, if he ever can get into the rotation. I think the guy's going to be a really good player. There's a lot of really good young guys on this team that can do a whole lot for this bunch. So
I
I'm
agree.
excited to see what they can do this year.
Well, one thing too, before I forget, like with Santi, is, and I talk to a lot of people because I played basketball through high school and played a little bit in college, and then I was like, Jordan, we played some serious men's leagues for a long time.
We did, man. We did.
Yeah. But the this is a good example with Santi. Like for me, like in high school, we had a star player, Mark Newman. He was first team All State, 6'9", just incredible player. And so my entire senior season, I was a role player. I would shoot my threes and be done. I'd get my 5 or 6, 8 shots a game, and I was done. It's a different mentality. And so Santi's, 2-time All SEC player, and he's done that. He's been that role the last couple of years. Like I've got to score the ball. And as a shooter, I think you have that mentality. It's like when you know you're the guy, every shot's is very important. Then Dalton comes in, and it took him a while to figure out how the rotation was going to go, how Dalton was going to start getting the ball more and shooting more. And I think Santi kind of fell in that role where, hey, I'm just going to get a few shots a game. And when he does, it's almost like a surprise. It's like, oh, crap, I got the ball. I'm open. Just let's shoot it. But when it gets to games like the last couple games where it's, hey, nothing else is working, I've got to score the ball, the mentality goes back into, all right, I'm a scorer again. And when it's more concentration, like every time I get the ball, I've got to look to shoot. I've got to hit the shot. And I mean, he's a 2-time All SEC player. I don't ever worry about him because I know any given night he can drop 25 like it's nothing. And so the confidence, I don't think the confidence thing has been his problem all season. I think it's more of a role kind of, hey, this isn't my role anymore. And whenever he has, because there's a few games where he only shot 2 or 3 shots at all. I mean, it was like, oh, I got it. Boom, let's just throw it up. But now it's getting back to I think it's going to be game by game. I mean, every single game is going to be different. There's going to be games where they're going to be like, hey, they're all over Dalton. They're double teaming him. Santi, you're going to have to take 10, 15 shots tonight. And his mind's going to be like, oh, all right, I got to focus on it, more on the shot instead of the rest of it. So I don't know. I think there's a difference, like mind-wise, of being a scorer and being a role player when it comes to shooting the ball, because I've been on both sides. I remember our sub-state game, Mark, he was our leading scorer all season. We got 3 minutes into the sub-state game, and they were double teaming him, and they had a guy right in his face, and coach calls timeout 3 minutes in the game. He's like, Alex, you're going to have to shoot the ball more tonight. And I was like, oh. So I was more focused and concentrated on every shot that I shot, as opposed to, oh God, I got the ball, jack it up, So I kind of know what kind of, feel like I know what kind of mindset he's in right now, but I mean, I
Yeah.
could be wrong.
Well, and there's one other thing on that too. I mean, I think that Santiago Vescovi's game has not been what it's supposed to be in the past.
Yeah.
Santi's game is not a guy who's going to go out there and shoot, the ball 20 times a night. It's just not who he's supposed to be. And he's been forced to jump in that role over the past 3 years in Knoxville. Yeah. Now things have changed up at the office. There's a guy named Mr. Dalton Connect on the team over there who is, arguably the best player in college basketball. And if we were in a world where Zach Edey didn't exist at Purdue, National Player of the Year award would be coming to the 865. It's that simple.
Exactly.
And if things change up at the office, I guess is what I'm trying to say more than anything. And we've all been there. All 3 of us have been at work before. They came in and said, hey, things are changing up. we may not like it, but we got to deal with it as adults. And I think that that's kind of what we're seeing Santi do now. He's starting to embrace that different type of role. And I think that it's going to help Tennessee out more than we can ever know. I mean, we're a month away from the tournament starting. Let's look at it that way. So we're a month away of, you have one bad night and it's all over with. So I think that there's still a couple things that the team needs to work on. But seeing what we saw on Saturday against Vanderbilt, where they're able to say, hey, let's get out here. Nobody plays over 24, 25 minutes. Zakai, you go sit down for a while, which I think is the biggest thing for the team in the longevity. But getting to build on things like that, I think, is going to help this team out a whole lot. So last thing before we change our pace up right here, Alex, what's Tennessee doing in March?
Okay. I'm going to call it. I never do this. I'm calling Final Four this year.
Hey, I've said it too.
I've never done that before once in my life because I've always been like, nope, I've seen it all. And this year, though, I mean, if we don't do it this year with Connect, then I don't know when we're ever going to do it. But so I'm just going to roll with it. I'm going Final Four. Once you get to the Final Four, and who knows what's going to happen. I'm not going to say national championship because you're 2 games away at that point. Who knows? But
all bets are off when you get to Phoenix.
Yeah, I'm going Final Four this year. This is it.
That's been the consensus amongst me and Grant this year. That's where we're going.
Yeah.
So I like it.
Let's do it.
Man. All right, dude. So you told us you got some stories about your time at UT and all that. First off, though, I do want to talk about this because it's funny. We met playing basketball in Pigeon Forge, and I swear to God, if I remember correctly, the first thing I ever said to you was like, "Man, you look like Tim Tebow."
He does. Yeah. He does look like Tim Tebow.
It's like I get that all the time.
That was 10 years ago. My Tebow years were 10 years ago. I went from Tebow to Alec Baldwin, and then the last 2 years I was Rascal Flatts, and then I just grew this beard out in the last 2 months. I've never had a beard, and now I'm getting Pat McAfee. I don't.
Okay.
That's it. Pat McAfee.
Yeah, I'm getting Pat. No, actually, it's funny. Just in case you ask, that's my Tebow picture right there. That was my first book 10 years ago.
You do look like Tebow right there.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I did. I'd never met the guy from Adam, and I was just like, man, because Mick knew you. Mick was my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
And Mick was like, this is Alex. I'm like, man, has anybody ever told you, probably 15 times today, you look like Tim Tebow? And I'm walking off, and I'm like, I bet he thinks I'm an ass.
No, I loved my Tim Tebow years. I didn't like the Rascal Flat years.
Yeah.
I was like,
how about the Pat McAfee years now? Are we more on board with that?
Pat I'm 50 years old now. I'm like, all right, if I can look like McAfee, I'll take it. But yeah, the Alec Baldwin Rascal Flat years were weird in between, but so I don't think my wife liked it either, but that's okay. I'm trying to fix that. I don't know.
Hey, well, the best thing about that is you wait 10 years and then you just change again to another celebrity. So if you don't like Pat McAfee, what's next?
What's coming next? I don't know. I did 3 months. For 3 months, I was a fat Alec Baldwin. I'm like, that's the same guy. I don't know. Is there a different one? But okay. Yeah, it's just.
Oh, that's funny, man. But so you were at UT. You were around Peyton, T. Martin, all them.
Oh, well, yeah. So I graduated with Peyton Manning. I was like 15, 17 rows behind Peyton. I was in between Peyton Manning and Shamiqua Holtzclaw. And so you can imagine, there's a lot of hoopla going on. But the funniest part about my graduation was my dad, comes to graduation and does a 2-hour, he films the whole thing. So a few months later, he calls me. He's like, hey, you got to come over to the house. My dad still lives in Sevierville. He's like, you're going to come over to the house and watch the graduation video. And he's like, you're going to love it. So I get there and we watched the whole 2-hour video, and it's 45 minutes of Peyton, 45 minutes of Shamiqua, and every once in a while you'd see the top of my head as he went back and forth. The other 15 minutes was the dude that held the cords on the sideline for Fulmer. That guy got 15 minutes. I got nothing. The top of my head was the whole video for 2 hours, but My
Hey,
dad
that's
would
some big
like,
Orange royalty right there, though. I mean, you think
you know,
about it.
yeah,
You're with Peyton, you're with Chamika, you're with the guy who holds the cable for Fulmer, man. I mean,
yeah.
now
That
all they
guy's
need to do
probably
is
the
get
most
you up
famous.
there.
Yeah, I don't know. The guy that held the courts or Fulmer was, everybody knew him. He was in all of it, on TV all the time. But so yeah, that was my Peyton graduation. I never actually met Peyton, so I don't know. That was even worse. So it's like I didn't even get to meet him.
Like,
You didn't get to
Dad
meet
made
the
me
one-
watch him
No.
graduate, though.
No, so
Oh man, that's like
that was
Dad, what
after
am I?
I just played at Walter State. And the funny thing was so I played at Walter State. I quit the night before the first game. And a few weeks later, I played in some charity basketball game in Jefferson County, and it was just a bunch of random people from Sevier County, Jefferson County, Blount County on a team. I didn't know any of them, and we were playing against the Tennessee football players. And there was this big charity event, and they had like Little Man Stewart, Corey Fleming, Aaron Hayden. There's this Horace Morris. I mean, just bringing out some like the weird names from back then. And so we played. I had the game of my life. Like, just I couldn't miss. And I was wearing my Walter State practice jersey because I literally just quit. And so after the game, Wade Houston is he's in the stands. And so I'm walking out, and all the football players are signing autographs, and nobody cared about us. But I did have a really good game. Like Corey Fleming and Little Man Stewart, we were all going at it because I'd played against Little Man in high school. Oh, there's the worst I ever got dunked on in high school was Little Man Stewart. Reverse, just shoe in my face. Like I'm backpedaling with my mullet, back in 1990. And here comes Little Man, just reverse. It kicks me in the face. So, fast forward 2 years. And so I have, we go to toe to toe. So Wade Houston comes up to me. He's like, hey, would you be interested in playing at Tennessee next year as a preferred walk-on? He's like, you'll never get to play unless we're up by 50. And I'm like, not with you coaching. That's never going to happen. We'll be down by 50. Maybe they'll put me in. But I was like, okay. And I was like, yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to just walk out on Thompson Bowling and warm-ups. And so I was all excited, and so a few months go by, Wade gets fired. And so I'm sitting at my dad's house one day, and the phone rings, and my dad answers. It's Kevin O'Neill. And so he had a list of people from Wade Houston. He's like, here's some preferred walk-ons that I got on the list. And I can hear my dad go, yeah, okay. And then he gets off the phone. I was like, well, what's going on? He's like, that was Kevin O'Neill. I was like, oh, my God, you really? He's like, yeah, he had you on the preferred walk-on list. And so I'm like thinking, all right, I'm going to play UT. And I was like, well, what did he say? And he goes, well, he asked me if you could play defense. And he's like, that's when I shook my head. And he's like, that was the end of the phone call. And I was like, okay, never mind. I was like, yes, I'm not going to UT.
So you couldn't have played for Rick Barnes either.
Oh gosh, no. I was a pure shooter, man. Slow shooter. And that's when I joined the Gatlinburg Men's League. And that was the rest of my career till like age 35.
So you could have played for Bruce, is what I'm hearing.
Against each other, yeah.
You could have played for Bruce with the offense and no defense, but you couldn't have played for Rick.
I was probably too slow for Bruce too, but yeah, that was
Listen,
So that
some of those 3-on-3 leagues we were in, dude, was serious.
Oh, yeah.
Like we were just all out there to have fun, and and our team score 150 points a game, and some of them were not having it. They were down there like we were playing for money.
The only nights off we ever got is if we were playing the Smoky Mountain Movers. You remember those guys?
Yeah.
There's these guys, they're having a moving company. They'd walk in and they were all wearing jeans. Like they would play in jeans.
Oh, no.
Three dudes walk in and we're like, all right, we're going to beat them 180-20. But they enjoyed it. And I was like, I'll never forget the Smoky Mountain Movers, man.
And I remember I had a friend, gosh, this is going back probably 10 years ago now at this point. But one day he hit me up. He's like, you want to go play some ball? I'm like, yeah, let's go to the gym. So we go over to the rec center. This dude shows up in jeans and sneakers, like not even sneakers you can hoop in. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He goes out there. He cooks everybody wearing jeans and just regular tennis shoes. I'm like, Cody, I don't know what you just did right there, but replicate that again next week.
Yeah, there's always one guy like that. There was a guy I remember at the community center. His name was Ron. Do you remember that guy? It just never missed, and he's kind of a big guy. And then he was there for like a year or two, and just we couldn't stop him, and then he just disappeared. I was like, well, he's a legend. He's a legendary Sevier County Community Center.
Yes,
Ron. I don't even know his last name, but
we're putting him on a bolo right here. Be on the lookout for Ron.
Yeah, look out for Ron.
I mean, man, there were some of those games though, man. No, not a damn bit of defense was played in them. No, damn bit. Like we played one night, and the final score of that game that we played in was 210 to 170.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, like, you guys are like the NBA All-Star game.
It was, man. Yeah. It was. Nobody missed. If they missed, so what? We just checked it in, threw it up, it went in, we played again. it was like that just about every night.
It was fun though.
It was. I cannot tell you how many fights I seen down there over nothing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like there was one night, guy told another dude he was going to meet him out in the parking lot. He had a piece for him over a foul in rec league basketball. I'm like, dude, come on.
Yeah, man. I'm not surprised.
I'm not either.
I wish I could. Gosh, I wish I could be that passionate about anything in life.
Yeah. Oh, wait till you turn 50. It's like I don't care about anything at all.
Yeah, I turn 30 next week, and that's where I'm at already. So,
Alex, like it don't matter as long as you're comfortable. Be out mowing the yard in a damn dress. I'm comfortable. It's okay.
I'm glad you said that because I did that last week. So that's
hell yeah. Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah. No, it's funny. I there's this group in Knoxville. It's called Fun with Friends. That's what it's like. This big Facebook page. And I don't know if you've seen it. There's thousands and thousands of people on it. And it's like it's supposed to be for people like moving to Knoxville and join. Like we just want to go out and have fun. Well, they started a men's basketball league. So somehow I got sucked into this and I joined this league. And I got my oldest son. He played up a little bit in high school at Farragut, and then so I got him to join with me, and I didn't know the rest of the guys on the team. So we go out, and the first 2 nights, I was like, oh, it's going to be really laid back. You know, I haven't played in a league in 20-something years, or since Gatlinburg in my mid-30s. It's been like 15 years. We show up, and this other team looked like the Celtics. They came out, they're all dunking in warm-ups. And I'm looking at my team. I'm like, I'm on the worst team I've ever seen in my life. We get out, and we get drilled. So this is a true story. So the first night I come home and I'm walking funny. My wife looks at me. My wife's a veterinarian. And so she's a doctor. I walk in, I'm walking funny. She's like, did you fall on your ass? And I was like, no, I didn't fall. I was like, it's inside. She's like, oh my God, you got hemorrhoids. I was like, great. First came back in like 15 years, I got hemorrhoids. So we had a 2-week bye. I go play the second game, and we get drilled again. I come home, and I'd lost like 15 pounds in 2 weeks. My wife's like, I think you might be diabetic. And I was like, oh, I thought you gained weight with that. She's like, no, it can be the other way. Go to the doctor, diabetic. So the third game, I asked the league, I was like, can somebody that's going to go play college basketball next year, can they be on our team? They're like, yeah, as long as they're not playing now. So I got my youngest son. He went and played basketball in Pennsylvania. He joined the team. We got there. He scores like 54. We beat the number 1 team in the league. And I tore my Achilles 2 minutes into the game.
Oh.
I was like, if you're going to play men's league basketball, I was like, I got diabetes, hemorrhoids, and I tore my Achilles. So make sure you wash your hands before you play basketball because it's not good. But yeah. So I haven't played since then. I'm still limping. It's been 1.5 years. Well, I think I'm done. I think I'm officially retired.
It's time to make that Instagram post with the sneakers hanging up on the back of the door, man.
Yeah.
I think it's it probably didn't help that I was wearing like low top old men tennis shoes too while I was playing. I didn't even have basketball shoes. I hadn't seen those in like 18 years. But
out there in the Chuck Taylors, low cut.
Oh, I did have some of those. I should have played them. Too late now.
What could have been?
What could have been?
Right.
I did drop 18 in the second game, so I felt okay.
You're feeling good. You're feeling good. Just
Yeah.
you went out on top though, right?
Yeah, we lost by 80, but
Hey, that's all that matters. It's all about how you feel, man. All about how you feel. So, boys, y'all want to play some start bench cut?
Oh wait, let me tell my one. I gotta
Yeah,
tell my
yeah.
one
I'm
joke.
sorry. Yeah, go for it.
No. I just so I don't forget. I gotta tell my T. Martin joke. This one's famous.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it, man.
This is the dumbest joke you've ever heard. My wife hates it because she doesn't understand sports or UT at all. But she's from Georgia, so probably. All right, so here's the famous T. Martin joke. Very few people have heard this except for at shows. So T. Martin's at UT and he's walking down the strip and he's wearing his jersey. And so he's walking down Cumberland Avenue in his jersey, and a fan runs right up to him, points at his chest, and goes, "Hey man, UT Martin?" He looks down and goes, "No, man, UT Knoxville."
Oh man,
I'm sorry, I told you it's horrible.
I love it.
That's good though. Like it's not horrible at all.
I think that's all. That's all of my good stories there. I knocked them all.
Knocked them all.
Yeah,
All right,
so,
guys.
now go back to your show and let's get all the good stuff in.
All right, guys. So we like to end out our show with playing some start bench cut here, Alex. Start bench cut, great game. PG-13 version of Screw, Marry, Kill. So you're taking it down for the internet right here. So a couple of them are Tennessee themed. So start bench cut favorite Tennessee logo. The Rifleman, which is this guy right here on the back of the MacBook, interlocking UT, or the Power T.
I'm Power T. Power T start.
Mm-hmm.
What was the second one?
The interlocking UT or the Rifleman.
Okay. Interlocking UT is my bench, and I'm going to cut the Rifleman.
You're the first person to ever cut the Rifleman on this show.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yes.
I'm old school though. Like that one just seems. I don't know.
I love it.
I love everything Tennessee, but I mean, if
I'm starting that one easy. Start the interlocking UT. Start the Rifleman. Bench the interlocking UT.
Okay.
Cut the Power T because it is so damn overdone, and it's time for a rehaul.
Okay. No. Now, see if you get just in case you get the jerseys. I'm opposite on jerseys though. It's weird. So I'm not all old school, just a little bit. I do like that.
I would have to start the Rifleman, bench the Power T, cut the interlocking.
See, I love all of them. I love all of them except for the Power T. The Power T is so overdone and it's on everything, and it's time we change it up. I really think it is. Put something else out there. All right, so for our next one, we're going to stick with we're going to move over to football on this. Give me your favorite alternate helmet, Alex. Start bench cut, smoky gray, dark mode, or the all orange that was worn in that horrible football game against South Carolina back in 22.
Don't you try to sway an opinion, Grant, just because you know which one I'm going with.
I'm going dark, start dark mode, bench smoky gray, cut the orange.
Jordan?
I'm starting the orange. I'm benching dark mode, cutting smoky gray.
Gosh, we all have different orders. Start smoky gray, bench dark mode, cut the all orange because those are the ugliest things I ever seen in my life. I hate them. I hate them. It looks like Clemson. It looks like Clemson.
No,
yes, it does. Clemson wears
not.
An orange helmet with a white logo on it. Tennessee, orange helmet, white logo.
Their orange sucks, though.
Yeah, well, nothing beats Patome 151C. I'll say that.
I love the dark mode, though. I'm a big Halloween guy, though. So, like, everything dark mode, I'm all for it.
I love those. Give me that or gray. And the reason why I start the smoky gray is because of the detail of the helmet. With having the mountain range in the background and all of that, it's so hard to beat the detail that comes with that.
That's true.
So moving on to the next one, most hated rivalry for you that the University of Tennessee has, Alex. Start bench cut, Florida, Alabama, or Georgia?
Oh, I'm going Florida start, cut Bama, bench Georgia. Or
Carbon copy.
Bench Bama, cut Georgia.
Carbon copy right here.
I hate Florida.
I can't.
I'm starting Bama. I'm benching Bama, and I'm cutting Bama. How about that? No, you got to go. I just don't like Alabama. I don't like anything about the state of Alabama. All it's down there is Dollar General and meth.
Hey, they do have great comedy though. I will give them that. They have like one of the best comedy scenes in the whole country.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know that was going to be the case, but it's fantastic. They had the biggest comedy club in North America in Birmingham.
Wow.
Really?
That's
Wow.
wild.
Yeah,
did not know
it's
that.
cool, but no, it's funny when I was a little kid is I was an Alabama fan for like
Oh,
just
no.
for a few months just because of uniforms, but then I just like the basic. But then I realized Penn State's uniforms, which I hate to say this, Penn State's white on white is my favorite uniform in college football. Besides Tennessee, I just
I like the
that
Penn
all
State.
white
Yeah.
on white with the just one stripe, boom. But I liked Alabama for a few months, and so my dad took me to a game. I was like 5 years old. Well, actually, no, I was 9 years old. It's even worse. It was '82 Alabama Tennessee game, and I was wearing an Alabama T-shirt underneath jersey, and that was the last time I ever wore it, and I've hated them ever since. But
Hey, at least you came over to the orange side.
Florida, I've always hated Florida. So
I can't stand Florida. I mean, me and Jordan have had this one on the show for quite a while, and he always goes with Alabama, and I always go with Florida. So I'm glad you're able to jump over to my side on this one, Alex, and make sure you're on the right side. So
Georgia's not there yet. They're getting there though. They're starting to piss me off.
They've got a strong case to be benched.
I was going to say, I
there.
think within the next 2 to 3 years, we're going to see Alabama move down to the cut on that list, and Georgia will be the bench. I think,
Probably.
just with what they're doing in football right now, because
Yeah,
the people who are young right now are not going to remember all the hell that Alabama put all three of us through in our lifetime, which is fine. I'm glad they don't have to remember that. I'm glad that they don't have to, but Georgia's going to turn into their most hated at that point.
You know what?
So
I'll remind them of it every time we beat them.
will.
You
Oh,
know I
hell
will.
yeah, you will. I know you will. I've known you for too damn long to know you're not going to do that, Jordan. So, Alex, with you being the beer comedian, we got to talk some beer on this right here.
Yeah.
So, favorite type of craft beer, start bench cut, IPA, sour, or stout?
Start IPA. No, this one's easy. Yeah, start IPA. That's that. I'm a big IPA guy. I'll bench stout and I'll cut the sour, even though I like a good sour every once in a while. So, same with stout. Like I drink IPA almost exclusively, which is weird because I did not like. It took me 3 years to like an IPA, but once I started liking them, it's like my taste buds changed. Drinking domestic beer now tastes weird to me.
It's gross now to me.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing. But no, I'm an IPA person. I like stouts. I like sours, but yeah, I love IPAs.
What's your favorite IPA?
Oh gosh, now that's a tough one because well, no, I just voted it beer of the year. If we're staying in Knoxville, because we got 30 breweries in Knoxville. Stone the Crows from Orange Hat Brewing Company, which boom, I'm wearing their shirt right now. You can't see it, but yeah, Stone the Crows in Knoxville. It's my favorite one, but I know Nashville's got a lot of great ones too. And that's hard to. Yeah, that's a hard one. But
most underrated beer city in Tennessee. Give me Memphis. I think Memphis has the best beer in the whole
they
state.
got some fantastic beers. Yeah,
They
are very underrated though.
Massively underrated. I lived out there for 3 years. With mine, I am actually going to start the sour. Love a good sour.
Yeah.
Bench the IPA. Love IPA. That's exclusively what I drink. But if I'm going for a different flavor, it's always going to be the sour.
Gotcha.
Cut the stout. Never been able to find one I've liked in my lifetime. What do you got, Jordan?
I'm going to start the IPAs. I'm going to bench the stout, cut the sour.
And then also talking about favorite IPAs too. If you're looking for a really good beer, Alex, try out the Aquaman, which is made by Grind City in Memphis. It was the beer for Steven Adams whenever he was with the Grizzlies. So it's got like a spear going through a basketball. I'll send you a picture of the can on it, bro.
Yeah,
one of the best cans I've ever seen, and they're not going to be making it too much longer since Steven got traded. So got to get your hands on it while you can.
I had that one. Yeah, I'll have to get some of that.
Oh, that's one of my favorites. Every time I go out to Memphis, that's my go-to right there.
That's cool.
So you live in East Tennessee, and we have came up with 3 different breweries. So start bench cut these breweries for
Okay.
us.
Oh gosh,
Zool,
don't get me in
Smoky
trouble.
Mountain, or Yeehaw.
Oh, okay. Start Zool, bench Yeehaw, uh, cut Smoky Mountain Brewery. Yeah,
Jordan?
that was an easy one for me.
I'm gonna say start the brewery. I like their food though, honestly. Their
Well,
food's
yeah, the food's great. Yeah,
If
you
you're
know,
eating, that's the start right here between all
right.
3 of these. But if you're
But
just
if we're
drinking,
going beer, going off the straight beer, Yeehaw is the start for me. I like Yeehaw. I like the 80 and the Dunkel.
yeah.
I don't really like dark beer, but Dunkel is solid.
Mhm.
Um, I'm gonna bench the brewery, Cutzel.
Okay. Oh man, I'm gonna start Zool. That's probably one of my favorite breweries in all of
Yeah,
Knoxville.
I was going to say if you like sours, I mean they're the
Oh,
king of
that's
sours.
the best place to go in Knoxville for that. I've only been once, but I
Yeah,
really enjoyed it.
yeah,
That's what happens when you move away and you haven't lived back there in like 6
yeah.
years. But so I'm going to start Zool. I'm going to bench Yeehaw and I'm going to cut Smoky Mountain Brewery. Kind of same thing Jordan said. If I'm going to go eat, Smoky Mountain Brewery 7 days a week and twice on Sunday, just because you get the same menu you get at Calhoun's. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, something about Zool, man, too hard to bench that right there. But that
Well,
has been.
Zool does have the abridged food truck now, almost
Oh, do they?
permanently outside. And the Bridge
Oh,
Burger is one of the best burger in Knoxville for 4 years in a row. They're smash burgers, so it's
Hmm.
pretty tough. And then Yeehaw has got the chicken, the hot chicken, Nashville hot chicken. So,
oh,
but Smoky Mountain Brewery definitely has the broader menu that we all love, the Calhoun Smoky Mountain. So yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, beer
that
wise though, I'm going Zool Yeehaw.
Yeah. It's too hard not to go that way with those two, I think,
Yeah,
just because you get the best of the best in East Tennessee right there.
I agree. Yeah.
But boys, this has been a lot of fun today. Alex,
yeah.
where can everybody find you out on the socials if they want to check out the work you've been doing?
Yeah, so I'm kind of weeding out the beer comedian page, but you can still find it. I haven't taken it down yet. New website's coming out. It's just Alex Stokes comedy.com. That one, it's in the process right now. And then Waking Up in a Brewery. Definitely find me there. We do podcasts every week. We would love to have you guys as guests on our podcast too. We've never done it this way though. We're always have guests in house, but we need to try this doing it remotely. Like this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've
Man,
got a
you
guy
tell
from
us.
Next Level Chef is going to be on our episode in a week or two. So,
Okay.
yeah, so we get a weird variety. We get beer people, we get just a little bit of everything. So, but yeah, those are probably the best places to find me. And yeah,
Okay. Well, guys, make sure you check out Alex. He has been a great guest on here for us, and his work is really good. So make sure you guys check that out. But, Alex, we're going to end the show how we always do, and you can join in with us if you want to. Go Vols.
Go
go
Vols.
Vols, beat Missouri. Let's go.
Beat Mizzou.
Yeah.
If you're looking for the perfect Smoky Mountain vacation, Mountain Romance is your cozy romantic getaway. Starting at $129 per night, you get 2 bedrooms, 2 full baths, and this beautiful cabin will sleep up to 6 people. With an amazing mountain view, fire pit, pool table, and hot tub, this place has it all and is located within minutes of downtown Gatlinburg. To inquire, go to Airbnb and search for Mountain Romance or email bearslair2021@gmail.com.
All right, guys. If you all are anything like me and you have a hard time waking up in the morning until you get that caffeine in you, come give our friends at W a try. Each energy blend that they have created comes with no calories, no sugar, no fillers, and no artificial colors. So you go online, you go buy it, it comes to your house. It comes in a little container with powder in it. Scoop it out, drop it in your shaker, add water, shake it up, and you're good to go. It's that simple. Tastes amazing, no carbonation, no added sugars in it, so you don't get that sugar crash at the end of your energy buzz. Let me tell you guys, this stuff is amazing. My favorite flavor is Beach and Peach, which is a white mango peach. And oh boy, stuff is great. Let me just tell you. Go to w.gg on your web browser and type in promo code VOLINOUT for 10% off. VAWLINOUT for 10% off. This episode of the Ballin' Out podcast has been brought to you by our friends at Peace of Mind Enterprises. From construction, home remodel, down to general handyman services, Peace of Mind has you covered.
All technicians are licensed and insured, servicing East Tennessee with 30 plus years of experience. Call 865-202-7167 for a free estimate, because nothing beats having peace of mind.